Hi everyone, welcome back to DearUnconventionals. Thank you so much guys for liking our content so far. Today I have with me someone whose love for nature and wildlife is truly inspiring. Mr. Devendra Singh, a former civil servant turned full-time photographer, birdwatcher and environmentalist, has spent decades capturing the beauty of nature and guiding the next generation in doing the same. Sir, hi. Thank you for joining us today. You grew up in the lush green lands of Delhi. Could you share with us some early memories that sparked your love for nature?
Yeah, I was born in Delhi and we belong to Delhi, and we are here for almost 900 years. And it is one of the greenest capitals of the world, as far as I know. And it was something which was very, magical because I was in a place where I was born. It was surrounded by forests, it was surrounded by greenery. We had a little garden, and I was always fascinated by birds, by plants, by trees, by butterflies, and it was a natural love. I don't know how, but my inclination was there from the very beginning, and that's what shaped me into a naturalist, environmentalist, lover of nature, lover of all fellow beings. That's what.
So basically by birth,
Yeah,
you
by
can say.
birth means I had a natural inclination towards nature.
So you've had a long career as a civil servant also. So as a civil servant, your camera, I'm sure, always went with you. How did you strike this balance of profession and passion?
Yeah, it's as they say that your hobby is your main inspiration, whatever you may be doing. And there are holidays in between, and there are mornings and evenings which are there for you to enjoy. So wherever I go for a morning walk, because I am a great outdoor person, I am not an indoor person. So whenever, for the last, I think, 30 years or so, whenever I'm going out for a walk, I'm with my camera, because whatever is happening in nature, it doesn't get repeated. So once you capture it, it's captured it forever. It is in your memories. You freeze time. That's what you do. And those are memories. And those are absolute, marvelous, magical, mesmerizing memories. That's exactly what happened. And whenever I used to go on tour, which is more often than not, and I carried my camera, if I got the opportunity of using it, I used it, because you cannot go on holidays forever. The holidays are very, very restrictive when you are in a leadership position in the civil services, and that's exactly the reason that I carried my passion with me all the time. And as I said, that it made me a better human being, a better officer, a better citizen, a better fellow being for nature.
So, sir, photography is a passion in a way, and having a love for nature is a different passion, right? How would you say that you developed the love for wildlife photography specifically and not anything else?
So wildlife, because it gives you a chance to observe nature, it gives you a chance to see that how it is made, it gives you a chance to how interdependence is there of all fellow beings, human beings, other beings. It is a plethora, it is what you can say labyrinth of relationship with each other, amongst them. So that is very fascinating. So wildlife, and it is very rare, because we have really destroyed or destroying nature to the extent and the pace which is unbelievable. So that is why wildlife is something which is very, very near to my heart, or rather precious life. And wildlife includes everything. It includes trees, it includes plants, it includes ecology, it includes fauna, flora, butterflies, insects, everything it includes.
Right. So your intro also says you're a bird watcher. Now, for a lay person, bird watching could simply just mean sitting in your balcony and observing. But what happens is in a city life, somebody could just be observing and can only see maybe crows. You need a keen eye for bird watching, I believe. So, what is bird watching in your opinion, and what tools do you use, and what else can you tell our viewers about bird watching, and how can it be part of a profile?
You don't have to go anywhere to watch nature. Wherever you are, nature is around you. It's only that you are drowned in your own thoughts all 24 hours. That's why we don't observe things. Even if you just look around, there is a butterfly which has come on that flower, and and there are two three bulbuls there. And for bird watching, actually, you just don't need anything. You need eyes, you need ears, and you should leave your tongue at home. So you should be silent. And if you have a binocular, it helps you identifying and looking for details, behavior, colors, sound. It is one of the most soothing sound. If you get up early in the morning, wake up to chirping of birds. As I can tell you that in Singapore, when I went, or Manila, or Hong Kong, there was silence. There is no chirping of bird at all, because all have been mostly killed. So you are very lucky. It is the greatest de-stressing sound. So this is a great de-stressor. It gives you great enjoyment. It gives you great observation. It helps you in understanding nature.
Nice thought, sir. And uh, please tell me if the love for nature or wildlife photography, is it always inherent, or it's something that can be developed in somebody?
No, it is a mix of both, or it can be developed all together, because it only needs a trigger and a focus. That trigger can come from anything, anytime. And once that trigger comes in anybody, he will be hooked on for life. It is intoxicating, the best intoxication you can ever have in your life, that to love wildlife, you to love nature, because it costs nothing. It makes you grow, it makes you a better person, it makes you a complete living being. It justifies your existence on Mother Earth.
So, in that answer, I would like you to add something that as an environmentalist today, what would you say are some of the pressing issues that the urban areas are facing today?
The greatest environmental issue is that we are too many on this earth. Second, that our habits are such that we are destroying nature to so called progress. So it has to be sustainable. We are cutting trees, we are cutting forests, we are cutting everything which nature has provided without giving a second thought. That can we do without doing it? So that thought is missing. Second, there are only two things available free of cost in this world. As they say that there are no free lunches, but I say the most important two things in life are available free of cost. One is oxygen, and second is water. We hardly pay for anything. And if you don't breathe for 2 minutes, we will get dispatched from this earth. And that is what is the most important aspect, which we forget, that what we are getting free of cost, we don't value it. So for urban areas, we need to be more conscious and relative to nature all the time, so that our actions are limited, or our actions are in such a manner that progress happens, growth happens, development happens, but the nature is not harmed. So that is what is ailing urban, rural, everything. What is ailing environment, what is killing environment, which is killing nature, what is killing wildlife, what is killing fellow beings, is only three things. I've been telling it for the last 3 decades. And then somebody said it in UN, the same thing. It is human greed, apathy, and selfishness. These are the three things which are killing environment, killing nature, killing wildlife, and ultimately killing ourselves. That's what I feel. That it is connection with nature which is required. It is your own actions, if you analyze in a day or in a week, the things will improve. Connect yourself, sit in silence for 5 minutes and see the result. Just look at any scene, it is mind boggling, and it can alter your thought, it can alter your mind, and you can become a better professional, a better actor, a better writer, a better human being, a better manager, a better officer, better leader.
Sitting in silence for 5 minutes, आज की डेट में 30 seconds is also not possible. The moment you sit, you want to
Yeah,
check your phone, you want
yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah,
something else. You're like, how are you idle?
yeah,
People have that restlessness in them. कि
yeah,
कैसे?
exactly,
How
exactly.
can you just sit somewhere and observe maybe the mountains?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because inherently they find it, to say the least, boring. They're
yeah,
like, you know,
exactly,
कितना देर तक देखेंगे? That is the
exactly.
line that
So,
they
the
use.
greatest disease which we have already acquired is restlessness, getting unhappy at very, very small things, not having contentment in life, don't know what to do with myself, not talking to yourself. As Rumi said, once, silence is the language of God, rest all is poor translation.
Beautiful. And so, speaking of conservation, as a civil servant, there has been a remarkable contribution made by you that has a mention in the Guinness Book of World Records as well. You've been part of the planning and execution of infrastructure of railways, and there was a project that you were a part of that you managed to finish in less than 48 hours. Took you, I think, 44 hours. Can you shed some light on what that project was?
We remodeled Delhi station, many other stations, and it was the highest number of routes which are there in a terminal. When you start from a station, there are so many trains there. So how many simultaneous movements can take place? It was more than anywhere in the world that we planned, and we executed in such a manner that the general public is not put to any inconvenience. That means you complete your project, you add your facilities, you add your routes, you add your simultaneous movements and dispatches. So that facility had to be provided. And the number of routes which were there in a small terminal is the highest in anywhere in the world. That's why it is in the Guinness Book of World Record. And instead of prolonging it for 1 month, 1.5 months, where trains would have to be cancelled, it was done on 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, where people are usually are on holiday traffic, it are not traveling that much, and two world records were made on that day. That was 8th of February 1999. Anil Kumble took 10 wickets in a test match, and we created this, that we remodeled with highest number of routes with minimum possible time. And some other things are that Delhi metro corridors, which is one of the most crowded metro and most beautiful and well maintained metro, it was changed from earlier corridors going to Hulambi, Kala, and Narela to Dwarka and Badli, which is going now, which is absolutely jam packed. And Mr. Shridharanji, who was made in charge of that, he came and then he asked for that, who are the operation guys. And then we asked him, sir, we are here to decongest roads, not railways. So why to make metro besides railways? He agreed. And it was a sanctioned project, sanctioned corridor, sanctioned by cabinet. And he got it changed in 1 year time. And result is there for you to see. As I told you, railways is a environmental friendly, nature friendly mode of transport. It is 1/12 less polluting than road. It is less energy consuming, it is less land consuming infrastructure, and it is a mass rapid transport. So one got it sanctioned around $28 billion of works which are still going on, and it's an ongoing process, but that was my contribution.
That's amazing, sir, and congratulations for the mention also.
Thank you.
With that, I will come to something that intrigues the whole world today. And I know that you have some insights that you can share with us. So, your love for tigers, we'll be delving into that now. So, I first of all want to know that how and when did you start photographing tigers? Like, why do they personally intrigue you so much?
Well, as I told you, that nature is amazing. Every living being is amazing, and tiger being one of the most amazing creatures on this earth. It is more than 50 million, 100 million work of nature which has resulted in this gene pool. If you look at it, means it is amalgamation of strength, courage, and beauty.
Absolutely.
You can, those who have seen tigers in the wild, they will like to see it more, and those who have not been able to see, they are dying to see it. That is the magnet which tiger is. And because it is a magnificent creature, everything about it is magnificent. Because, as I told you, that it is symbol of courage, dominance, beauty, independence, and happiness. And despite being strong and powerful, it is always neutral towards its surroundings, which is absolutely mesmerizing.
आपने कब स्टार्ट किया
I
फोटोग्राफी?
was actually observing nature and photography. It's like a marriage which has to take place. If you are a nature observer, binocular and a camera is becomes a must, because what you see, it is there in your mind, but your heart wants it to see it more often. So what is the medium? This is the medium, that when you capture that moment, you can relish it over a period of time. The other people can relish it. You can inspire others. You can give motivation to others. You can educate others. You can do so many things. And so the photography is something which comes naturally to a naturalist and environmentalist, because you are able to capture and freeze that moment. It's so natural. That is why I got attracted to it, and that's why I started using it. And at present, I have a collection of 3.75 lakh pictures
Of tigers alone?
of nature. But each and every picture I have taken, I remember it by heart.
And every picture of yours, I'm sure in the background when you look at it has a story to tell.
Yeah,
कि
it's
कैसे
a
खींचा होगा, कहाँ थे?
yes, a kya ho raha tha. That's it's a picture can tell a 1,000 word story.
Out of all the pictures that you've mentioned you've taken, do you have a personal favorite or it's hard to pick?
It's very hard to pick.
So, coming back to tigers, we all know that unfortunately today they are endangered species. Uh, do you know anything about the story behind this? That how have they reached a point where they are now endangered?
Yeah, it's a very, very valid question you have asked. It's a very painful question. It's a very delightful question. Do you know that tigers came on this earth, as per our knowledge, whatever we have gathered, some 50 million years ago, from is living beings called mysids, and 20 million years ago they branched off as panthera, tigris, and other cats. Tiger is the biggest cat. The tiger in India, if I say that, you will be pained to know. When I read this sentence, my heart bleeds. Between 1875 and 1925, do you know how many tigers in India were killed? 80,000.
80,000.
80,000 tigers were killed. And this killing spree is continuing from Mughal era to this era, to then Britishers came with the modern equipments and guns and other killing machines, and Johns and Victors and Singhs Maharajas have killed 80,000 tigers between this 50 years span.
And people used to take it as
And it is taken
pride.
as a pride that we are going on shikar. And that exactly, so the history of tiger, if you see, it's very painful. And by 2000, 1950, the tiger population had plummeted in India to 4,000 only. And then, Mr. Jim Corbett and other the conservationists started thinking about it by 1936. He was a great lover, he was a great man who loved jungles, who loved tigers. And he says that we should not kill them at all. And he wrote 3 4 books, and those are worth reading by everybody. They should become part of the curriculum of schools, colleges. And then the effort started. And in 1969, you know, this International Union of Conservation of Nature had a conference, and they initiated that this beautiful animal is on the verge of extinction. And so in 1972, the idea was mooted that we must preserve, conserve, protect, promote tigers. And the Project Tiger was introduced in 1973 by the then Prime Minister. And the conservation efforts started, and are continuing now with more vigor. And we have around 3,600 tigers in the wild, and 70% of the wild tigers are available in India.
Tigers not being there will create a huge disbalance anyway.
Exactly. If tigers go, your forests will go. If your forests go, you will go. Everything is interlinked and interdependent. It's only that we do not know, but we don't have time, we don't have inclination, we don't have curiosity, and we don't have concern for fellow beings, for fellow things. We take them for granted. कि पेड़ है, अच्छा ठीक है, कब से खड़ा है, कब पैदा हुआ था, एक इतने छोटे से बीज से पैदा हुआ, इट्स नॉट आस्किंग यू एनीथिंग, बट स्टिल वी आर ऑन अ कटिंग स्प्री without thinking.
In the name of development.
Development, growth, we must grow together. That has to be the motto.
Right. So you must have traveled extensively photographing tigers. Uh, can you share one or two maybe personal encounters that you must have had with them?
Yeah, there are numerous actually. I have completed my century. I have 146 sightings till today.
146.
Six. So, and every sighting is a miracle. And when you see it, you keep on, you know, keeping your gaze on it, that I should not miss it for a second, because it is so majestic. It is so thrilling. So all my sightings are absolutely, mesmerizing and magical. So if I have to uh, put a number or a tag that which one I like the most, it was cold winter morning in Panna, and it was foggy. There was nobody in the jungle except us, and it was 6:30, and we were searching for tigers, because you have to search for him. There are signs, the language of the forest. If sambar deer speaks, if cheetal or spotted deer speaks, if a monkey or a langur gives you a call, it's called a call. That means there is 100% tiger. This is a communication of fellow beings telling others that there is a danger lurking here. So everybody is, you know, on their feet to escape death, because you never know which one will go. So there was no sound, nothing absolutely. There was no call. And all of a sudden, my fellow wildlifers, renowned wildlifers, Mr. Kintu Dhawan, Mr. Joy Bratto, they said, tigers. On left hand side, we saw four tigers were walking towards our gypsy, and they were emerging from foggy background, and it was something very, very magical. And all four of them, walking in a squadron kind of a thing in the fighter planes. And it was something which is so mesmerizing that when I remember it, I want to again go there and keep sitting there. Maybe it gets repeated. Never gets repeated. Nothing gets repeated. It is something which is new every time. So this was one of the most important thrilling moments which was recently, I encountered. And I have some beautiful pictures of those memories.
Amazing. Wow. And did you feel scared at that time, or cameras were ready?
No, cameras were ready. You don't have to feel scared of the other beings. They don't say anything. It's an open gypsy and it is 20 feet from you. One jump is more than 25 feet. Anything can happen, but it never happens.
Yeah. So, on the internet, there are a lot of videos on tigers because they are the species that are that intrigue many people. So, some say these are the shocking facts, some say that these are the fascinating facts. Anything you just Google and you find. I want to know your rare insights into the world of tigers would that the general public would not know.
Tigers are best suited, as they say, as the evolution takes place. Nature may keeps on perfecting its art. It is an art, it's a poetry which is written in genes, which is written in courage, in beauty, that it is an animal which can see at night and many times better than human beings and other preys. So it can hunt at night. There are retina, there are cones and rods in our eyes. So their rods are much more developed. Cones are for colors. Their hearing power is magnificent. They can hear around 3-4 kilometers what's happening. Their jaws are well designed so that they can get their prey and don't leave it. Their canines are 5 to 6 inches long. Their guts are smaller so they can digest the prey faster. Proteins. They can they can pounce on you, or they can pounce on their prey with their hind legs and forelegs, which no other animal has. You see, the elephant is such a tall, huge, large being, but is afraid of tiger. Sambar deer is much bigger. All deers are bigger than tigers, but he has that ability and the confidence and this thing that I'm the king and courage, and he is equipped by nature to take on anybody. And that's what is the most fascinating thing about every living being, more so with tiger, because it is so mesmerizing and majestic. I have used this word many times, but it is because no language is rich enough to describe its beauty, describes its capabilities, describes its characteristics, describe its overall persona.
Nice. And sir, with that, I also want to come to a story by you that I want to know here. That before a tiger is ready for its prey, okay, उस रात की उस टाइम की बैकग्राउंड में क्या कहानी होती होगी लाइक when it's getting ready for its prey. Can you describe that
Yeah,
moment
the
for
one
us?
one feels it all the time in the jungle. When you go to a jungle, when you go to a reserve, you observe it every time and you feel it within that all animals live in perpetual fear. You will find them hardly relaxed. They are always on a lookout. their ears will be, rotating. They will have slight noise and they will be ready to flee. And only this guy is resting like a king or a queen during the daytime, because there is no one to disturb him. There is no one who is going to come for him except human beings, and that too with deceit, and with our firearms, and with our nefarious ways of catching or killing him. So rest all of the animals are fearsome. They are full of fear, and that's why that communication, they give it to each other so that they can save their life. So as the you know dusk approaches, the vision of the tiger is clearer than the vision of anybody else. So he can see what others can't. They can't see him, he can see them. So that's why it's a nocturnal animal. It's a loner. He doesn't believe in families. He lives alone. Only when during mating, or sometimes during raising of the young ones, his own ones, that it has been noticed that their behavior becomes slightly different. And here he has to kill for food. So that's why that night or night time is very dangerous for other animals, because they are in constant danger of losing their life to a predator, which is an apex predator, and they are their prey. That is the game of nature. You cannot do anything about it. You cannot make tiger eat grass.
Okay.
It's not there.
And I want to do something very interesting with you, sir, on at this point. Now that we are talking about tigers, so I have what I'll say, some sort of questions for you, which are tiger trivia. Okay, so this will be, I'll ask you a set of questions. You only have to mention to me whether this fact is true or false, and maybe attach some anecdote with it if you feel the need to, for our viewers, because they'll find it very engaging. So, my first fact is, they say that a tiger's stripes are like human fingerprints. No two tigers have the same pattern. Is it true
Yeah,
or
yeah,
false?
it is very true. It's very true. And they have marks which are very interesting. And tigers have been named according to their marks on their forehead, over their eyes. Like there was a tiger called Munna in Kanha. The name was Munna, and cat was written on his forehead. Naturally, CAT was written on his forehead. It is the most photographed tiger. And similarly, Machli of Ranthambore, there was a fish here, Trishul tigress of Corbett, and there is a Trishul tiger which I have already photographed. I'll show it to you.
This is
So there is
written?
Trishul, yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
natural Trishul on both sides. So these are unique to each one of them, just like fingerprints. Yes, it's true.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah,
Number two is, a tiger's roar can be heard up to 2 miles away. It's not just a sound, but a communication tool.
exactly. It can be. It is. It's true. That's how she calls her young ones when they are away. And that's how she is able to communicate with others, with the other, for mating, for calling the kids, as I would say, their young ones.
Interesting. Tigers have exceptional night vision, 6 times better than humans.
Yeah, means I consider they may be having even more. As I told you that they are specially designed by nature. That's why I say it's a unique species. It is beautiful, it's strong, it is very dominant, it is full of courage. That their eyes are specially designed, that more rods are there than the cones, so they are able to see it better at night.
So, this is also true.
Yes, it is true.
Tigers become man eating if they taste human blood and are naturally inclined towards humans.
No, I don't think so, because tigers attack humans only in two situations, or rather three situations. That one, when you are uh, playing, or when you are disturbing their young ones, not for eating, because humans are not in its food chain. It's a food web. Humans are not part of their food chain. Second, when you are trying to get his food, he may kill you, but he will not eat you. And third, when it becomes old and it is difficult to hunt, and some human comes in contact with that kind of a tiger, that maybe that it becomes a man eater. That is a third situation, in a very desperate situation. In that situation, when it becomes old and we have encroached upon its territory, and he is able to get a easy prey, then
They become man-eaters.
otherwise not.
So false.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. About the white tiger. White tigers are separate species. They are Bengal tigers with a genetic mutation that gives them their striking color.
Yeah. And you'll find them that there are no stripes, and they are mostly either inbred into, breeding takes place in zoos only, and it is true, and they are only for, you can say, just for display purpose in zoos and others, because they are not found in the wild, because they are not capable of camouflaging them in such a manner. Suppose somebody sees you, and so they'll run away, because tiger has to hunt at least 10 times to get a prey. It's not that every attempt of his is successful. At least 10 times he has to hunt. So it's a very labor intensive exercise. So to live, he has to kill, but it is a very, very tedious, laborious, and tactical situation in which he has to get his food.
Yes. Very, very exciting. So, thank you. And moving on to something that I want to ask you. Share with us one funny anecdote that must have happened with you in your experience and journey as a wildlife photographer.
Well, it happened here only. I'll just brief you. It's very hilarious, actually, that all living beings are very intelligent. I keep water for birds every day and feed them sometimes, natural things. And so a crow which lives on this tree, which is outside, he used to come here and drink water. And crows have a very peculiar habit, that they won't eat their food without dipping it in water. It softens it. And crow, because it can kill other, it's a bird of prey, it can kill other birds and other things. So it will bring a, bird, a leg of piece of a bird, and it will put in that water and then eat it. So I had to, change this water at least twice a day. And when I see that, there is some part of a bird or other thing is lying in my this thing, I thought I must shoo away this crow. That ganda kar deta hai sab yahan pe aake. And I am a vegetarian, so I can't see the sight of some dead animals which are there on that water pot. So I used to, shoo him away, that, just go away. And I could identify him because his left wing is slightly on the outer side. So it happened for 3 4 days, and I take walk on that walking path. So when I was taking the walk, and I usually wear my hat, because for shade and my watery eyes. So some crows started attacking me, and they were hitting me on my head. And I said, what is happening? One after the other. And then I saw that the same crow, and it has got a white spot on the wing. He was attacking me, and it happened for 2 3 days. And after that, when it is coming, I am not disturbing him, and he's not disturbing me. So this is a game of cat and mouse, which happened here only. And it is something very, it's very amusing. It's very amusing. And now we have, like,
Friends.
good, yeah, good neighbors, and we have made friendship. And let's say, I don't say anything to him, he doesn't say anything to me.
But speaking of, only you could have recognized which crow, huh? By the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, because I have,
You've seen.
as a habit, it has become a
Yeah.
habit just to see that the same crow is there, and they'll come. They keep on sitting here, both of them.
Yeah.
So
So, tell me something. With extensive travel, you've been to Jim Corbett, you must have been to Ranthambore. So, when people travel to these places, the general common tourists, can you suggest a particular time or area or season when actually they can spot tigers?
yeah, actually, to spot a tiger, it is a matter of luck. It is a matter. There's no season for tigers. This is what my belief is. People say you come in summers, they're more available, means their availability or their visibility,
पानी में आते हैं ना वो
they
कहा
come
जाता
to
है.
water, but that's not also the rule. Means I had zero sightings in some safaris during summers also. So in all seasons you can see the tiger. It depends on so many factors: whom with they are going, how is your guide, how is your driver, who is your driver, and do they have, that love for nature. I always say that don't go for the tiger, go for the jungle, go for nature, observing nature. You will come across him, because the more you run after a thing, it runs faster than you. So that happens, but there is no rule. But to see a tiger, but everyone must go for a safari at least once a year, I would recommend. And as the rule of probability says, the more you go, the more you will see him.
There are more
Simple.
chances.
Yeah, that there are more chances, and few people are more lucky than others. But if you see him, you will want to see him again. If you don't see him, you will want to go again. So that is the kind of intoxication or magnet the safaris are. That is for sure.
I also think because you mentioned lucky, there's only two things that I feel ki because of which you can cite. One is one should have extreme patience,
Yeah,
and if you're lucky, you
yeah,
will get to see him
yeah,
and all. But it's I think very rare
yeah.
to
Yeah,
sight
it's a very
tigers.
rare. It's a miracle. I always say that
But sir,
if
I
you
think Jim
see,
Corbett में सबसे कम है. Like even in Ranthambore, when you go, you'll still be able to see. They say that Jim Corbett is strangely a place where it's very rare. And why would that be? Is there
no, I
anything?
mean, these are personal experiences. For me, Jim Corbett is number one park of the country or rather world, and I have seen so many of them, and so many times. And it is a matter of luck, as I say. Some safaris will you will not see it, but if you go with that intention, if you go enjoying nature, enjoying the entire ecosystem, you will definitely going to see it, and it is one of the best places to go on earth.
Right. Okay, sir. With that, I will come to an interesting segment which I do with most of my all my guests actually. So this is my segment top three, where I will ask you three questions. It's a rapid round, and you have to give me 3 pointers for each. Okay, that's about it. So my first question to you will be that three projects that you must have initiated in your journey as a wildlife photographer and that you're most proud of.
Well, three projects which I have initiated, I'll speak with them. But one project which I say, the Project Tiger, which started by the government, was one of the best things one could have done. And my projects, that wherever I go, I plant trees. In my earlier localities, I planted around 95 trees, and many of them survived. Many of them were also cut because of some ignorance. And the third thing is that the project as that the conservation, people's involvement in conservation, protection, and promotion of wildlife and nature, that I have been able to initiate many people, that it can be looked with a different angle, with a different glass, with a different perspective, with a different focus. So I feel happy about it.
And the three most memorable wildlife encounters you've had. You can include one with birds also.
Yeah. Well, one was, as I narrated, when we saw four tigers without any call early in the morning. And Absolutely. And when the little ones, the mother with three cubs who are as huge as mother and looking at you innocently, and you are looking at them, and it's a gauge which is it's a stare which is so pleasant and so dangerous also when you are on foot. So, and the other thing, in as I told you, my crow example, that every human being is intelligent, every living being is intelligent. What they can do is not comprehensible for us. It's not comprehensive. We cannot decipher their language. That's why we don't understand them. And regarding the bird life, when I see the photograph or the activity of birds nurturing, a male bird nurturing their young ones, and the female and male coming one after the other to feed the young ones, it is something which gives me great pleasure, absolute great pleasure. And in this, I would like to give one example, that gray hornbill or hornbills, they make nest inside the trunk of a tree, and female after mating goes inside the trunk, and the male plugs that hole with mud, and there is only one slit available, and he keeps on bringing fruits, vegetables, vegetation to feed the female till such time. I have photographed it, I have recorded it video, and I have my article got published. For 2 months she is inside, she becomes feeble, and she cannot come out on her own. You imagine that somebody locks me, my partner, and with a I have this belief that he or she would be feeding me when I am locked inside, and there is no betrayal there. And when the young ones come, there is a cacophony of, ching 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 ching, and then he breaks that mud door, so that she can come out. And when she comes out, she's so weak, and then the young ones just go away. And that is a story which is so fascinating for me. And we keep on cutting trees, कि इसका क्या है, उसका क्या है, and the same tree is utilized by different species. When they leave, manna comes. When they leave, the parakeets come. So it is, so all trees, even they are without leaves and जो सूख गए हैं, they are all 3 bhk 4 bhk for the wildlife, for birds, for insects, for butterflies. Only we don't understand that these are 3 bhk 4 bhk which we are running after for them. So protect them.
And sir, three myths about the wildlife that you'd like to debunk.
First of all, it is not a wildlife, it is a precious life.
Okay.
Wildlife never attacks you without a reason, and the reason is always their life. Either you are stepping onto their territory or house, or you are torturing their young ones. We are killing other fellow beings for our very narrow gains. And tiger is being thought of as panacea for all diseases of human beings. The tiger is being killed for eradication of disease, for longer life, for other things. And it is estimated that one particular tiger can fetch you 10 lakhs of rupees in the market. And the economic value of one tiger is estimated to be 100 crores. That people who come for tourism purpose, their other employment which is generating, and the happiness it is giving. So we will have to take care of our myths and our superstitions, that by damaging and by eating and by killing other beings, we can get benefits. It is not so.
Sure. And sir, finally, any advice for our viewers and for people who want to get into wildlife photography from your end?
Okay. Well, read about nature, follow your passion. Even if you are not interested in nature, Just observe in silence and go for forest bathing, as they say in Japan. You will get rejuvenated. You will be a new being. You will be something which you always wanted to become. And it will give you that kind of a satisfaction as well as purpose of life which you have been searching for. We are searching happiness in money, in liquor, in relationships, in acquiring property, in smoking, in eating. Well, just search silence, peace, taste nature. You may get a taste of happiness. And what we are doing, that, as the old saying goes, that if the last tree is cut, if the last fish is caught, if the last stream is poisoned, would we realize that we can't eat money? That is what we have to ask ourselves. Money is an artificial thing which we have made. We must get that sense of belonging to nature to save ourselves.
Thank you so much, Devendra sir. This has been incredibly enriching to be talking to you. And we know that your work is so sought after, and you are a very rare find. You don't talk to very many people because most people come up to you and try to extract so many of these insights. Thank you so much for sharing them with us.
And thank you, Shivangi, for giving me this opportunity. I am obliged.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure, sir. For all you guys, thank you so much for watching Dear Unconventionals. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, next week, on the next episode of Dear Unconventionals.